Good evening. It's Berlin Johnson. All right. Tonight we're looking at Lindsey Graham isn't sure if bloggers deserve First Amendment protection. So he goes on to say, who is a journalist? Is a question we need to ask ourselves. He said, is any blogger out there saying anything? Do they deserve First Amendment protection? These are the issues of our time, you know. And we are in a state, we are in a situation where the government considers the Constitution the past, it's ancient. You know, why are we talking about the Constitution? They don't like the Constitution. They write their own laws. That's why they continue to say, oh, it's a democracy, it's a democracy. We don't have a democracy. Our founding fathers did not like democracies. They spoke badly of democracies. And Benjamin Franklin even said, well, a woman asked him when he came out of the conference based on the Constitution, and she said, what have you done? And he said, we've given you a republic. So this is what our founding fathers believe in. A republic is a nation that's ruled by law. We have a country that's ruled by law. A democracy is majority rule. The majority can vote your life away. The majority can vote your house away, your kids. Because there's no standards, there's no law in place to stop. See, the government is constrained by the Constitution. That's why they don't like the Constitution, because it holds them back. So they override it. They pass laws that are defiant, that break the Constitution, but they don't care. The Constitution has been nullified. And you can see this guy right here, this wonderful Lindsey Graham, says, oh, who's a journalist? This is a question we need to ask ourselves. So you're saying that, so he's pretty much saying that the government needs to determine what criteria needs to be met for someone to be considered a journalist. And so if you don't meet this criteria, then you aren't protected by the First Amendment. You can't just say what you want to say because you're not a journalist. You're not a journalist. And so this is what this guy is working on. He said these are issues. We need to shut down the alternative media. They only want the mainstream media. Only one voice. And see, this is what all the great dictators did. Hitler, Stalin, all these great dictators did these things. Mussolini, they knew the power that political propaganda had. Hitler used to ride down the street, marching. He used to march his men down the street all around Germany. And see, that was a way for him to use that political propaganda, to get his name out there, for him to be the only person being seen. That was his ultimate goal. He said, we got to destroy all the parties. Hitler stood up and said, we are going to destroy all the parties. And he did that. Mussolini believed in that. He eventually took over the newspaper himself and was writing his own newspaper for Italy. These guys know the power in propaganda, and you need one voice so that the entire population will accept it. Because there's only one person speaking. There's no conflict. Just like in North Korea. What is his name? Kim Jong-un, however you pronounce his name. This guy, the people that live there cannot get on the internet. The only thing they've heard is Kim Jong-un is God. He is God. Praise him. These are the only things that they've heard. So that's the only voice they've heard. That's the only idea. That's the only opinion. So that's all they know. And I'm pretty sure that people will question it, but you get killed immediately anyway. It's hard to you got to be able to stand up together as one unit, everybody to come together when you're in a situation like that. But we're sliding down that slope, and these guys are trying their best to completely erode all of our civil liberties, to get rid of the entire Constitution, because They want power. These guys are greedy. They love power. They want to move ahead. You know, I don't understand it. But when you look at the situation, you see what they're doing, obviously there is a plan. And they're pushing hard. And we got to be ready to stand. We got to stand up against this tyranny. We must stand up against this tyranny.